Hello students. So students, in the previous class we were talking in the chapter that is reproduction about the male reproductive system and that of the female reproductive system. In the male reproductive system we had discussed that male reproductive organ is also consisting of a different part, and different parts of that organ or that system basically perform the different function. Like you see student, if we talk about a pair of a testis which is present outside to that of the abdominal cavity, basically its role is to produce the sperm. When you see the testis, what you will find that it is consisting of a coil tubes in it. Okay, that coil tubes basically responsible for the formation of the sperms. So we can say that testis, it help in producing the sperms. Second one, this sperms from that of the testis, when it is released from the testis, it will goes and enter into that of the sperm duct. Sperm duct is also known as a vas deferens. Okay, so that is known as a vas deferens. Now basically what is there in case of a sperm duct student? So sperm duct mainly it is already had collected the hormones which is released by that of the different glands. So these hormones will get mixes with the sperm which is coming out from that of the testis, and not only this hormone it help in giving the nutrition as well as it help in giving the nourishment to that of the sperms. Okay, and this hormone and that of the sperm, when they combine together, we use another name for it, and that is known as semen. Okay, so instead of using the name sperm, we use another name for it, and that is known as semen. Okay students, so after that of the vas deferens, this will enter into urethra. Urethra is what? It is a, you can say that it is a tube-like a structure which extended from that of the urinary bladder. Okay, so this semen will enter into the long tube-like a structure, and that is known as urethra. There is no role of that urethra. It is simpler a passage, a tube which help in connecting the sperm duct to that of the penis. And finally, from urethra, outermost part of that of the male reproductive organ, that is penis, and role of the penis students that it help from that of the penis only the urine as well as the semen passes out from the body. Okay, so these are the different parts of the male reproductive system. If we recall that of the female reproductive system students, so we have seen that it also consisting of a different parts, which include the first one was the pair of ovaries are there. Okay, pair of ovaries were there. These ovaries help in releasing the ovum or that of the egg. So egg or the ovum is released by the pair of the ovaries. That is known. That is the first part you can say. Now, from this ovaries, pair of ovary, there is a tube-like a structure which is extended and which help in connecting the ovaries to that of the uterus of the body or uterus of the female reproductive system. That is known as fallopian tube. Okay, so from the ovaries, the next one is the fallopian tubes. Okay, fallopian tube students, it is a, you can say it is a oviduct also. So in place of a fallopian tube, we can also say that it is a oviduct. So fallopian tube is there, oviduct is there. So this ovaries, it help in releasing the egg or the ovum, and which will gives that egg will go to that of the duct or the tube-like a structure which is known as fallopian tube. When you see the fallopian tube students, you will find that this fallopian tube, it is a kind of a funnel shape. Okay, it is a funnel shaped structure at the outermost side. So ovum from that of the ovaries goes to the fallopian tube. Now the next one is the uterus. Uterus is also known as the womb of the body. So basically uterus is known as womb. Fallopian tube will attach itself from that of the ovary. It is a kind of a connecting passage which helping connect the ovaries to that of the uterus. Uterus is that portion of the female reproductive system where the growth and the development of the zygote occur. Basically, the zygote forms, and this zygote will stick on the wall of the uterus where the development of the zygote to embryo and embryo to fetus occur. So that is why it is also known as the womb. Okay, mother's womb. So from fallopian to uterus. And from that of the uterus, students, it will you see, students, from that of the uterus, the outermost part, and that is known as vagina. So vagina, you can see it is the tube-like a structure again from the uterus. This is the outermost cell, outermost part of the female reproductive system, and basically the role of the vagina that it receives the sperms. Okay, you can say the sperms enter through that of the vagina, and from there it will go to uterus to fallopian tube. Okay, so this is all about that of the female reproductive system. So we have understood the male and the female reproductive system. Now we will try to understand that basically what happens during the fertilization. Okay, fertilization, students. So let me explain you first and then I will write it. You see what happens, students. The sperms which is released, which is discharged from that of the male reproductive organ, it will be received or it will be entered into that of the vagina of the female reproductive system. Okay, so from that of the vagina, the sperm will goes to the uterus and it reaches to the fallopian tube. Now, why it is going to the fallopian tube? Because you are knowing that the ovaries which releases the egg or that of the ovum is present in that of the oviduct or the fallopian tube. Oviduct or that of the fallopian tube is the site where the ovum or that of the egg is present. So sperm, it is released in a more number, and from there you can say that not all of the sperms will enter into the fallopian tube because of the temperature variation. So if the suitable temperature is there, so it will enter into the body and enter into the uterus to that of the fallopian tube. Now the fallopian tube consisting of a one egg or a ovum in it. Now this sperm will fuses with that of the ovum or that of the egg, and finally result of that of the fusion of the egg and the sperm gives rise to a new single cell that is known as zygote. Okay, so sperms enters into the fallopian tube and there is a formation of a zygote due to the fusion. Now this zygote will starts moving from that of the fallopian tube and enter into the uterus. Okay, so fusion, we can say the fertilization process occurs in that of the fallopian tube, and from the fallopian tube it will enter into the uterus. In the uterus, the zygote will stick on the wall of the uterus, and from there itself it starts taking the nutrients or nutrition and nourishment from that of the mother's body through that of the blood. Okay, so it is getting the nourishment, it is getting the nutrition, and finally because of that it start growing and developing. So we can say when the cell division occur there, so there is a formation of the embryo, and due to the cell division and cell differentiation, this embryo will get converted into the fetus again. Okay, so from that of the zygote to the embryo to that of the fetus, all this process occur in the part of the female reproductive system that is known as a uterus, students. Okay, and when the fetus matures, we are all the different body part or different organ of the body is developed. So after 9 months, that fetus will come outside. Okay, through vagina. So this basically happened in the process of a fertilization. Let me write it with the help of the points, and after that We will try to understand it again. Okay, so you see student, basically what happened during reproduction, male produces sperms, they produces sperms, and female produces eggs. Okay. Now, what is the number, students? So, the number of eggs is smaller, or is small than the number of sperms, which is more. Okay, it is more in number as compared to that of the egg, student, which is smaller in number. Okay. Now, when the sperms enter into the female body, this sperm, we can say, now this sperm, it is released, it entered into the vagina. So, this sperm enters into the female body through vagina, and finally reaches to the fallopian tube. It reaches to that of the fallopian tube. Okay, so sperms enter into the female body and through vagina, and finally it reaches to the fallopian tube. Now, fallopian tube basically consisting of the eggs. Okay, so we can say that it is an oviduct, so it will consist of a egg. So, fallopian tube consisting of eggs. Okay, eggs. So it will be fertilized by the one or two sperms. Okay, so we can say that the process of the fertilization occurred in that of the fallopian tube, and the reason is that because the eggs are present in the fallopian tube, and that is why the fusion can take place there itself. So after fusion, formation of zygote occur. Formation of zygote occurs. Okay. Okay. Now, this zygote starts moving from the fallopian tube to the uterus, to that of the uterus. Okay, and it sticks on the wall of the uterus. So it sticks on the wall. Uterus. Now you know that the division. Now this embryo, student, it will take all the nutrition from that of the mother's body. Okay, so we can write it. It derives its nutrition from the mother's body. Okay, so it derives its nutrition from that of the mother's body, and with the time what happened, this embryo will it is getting the proper amount of nutrition, students, so it starts growing, it starts developing. There is a development of that of the different parts of the body. It can be recognized now. So we will say that the embryo get converted into fetus. Okay, so we can write the embryo develops into fetus. Okay, so it develops into fetus. Okay, now this fetus develops its different parts of the body, like head is there, hand is there, legs are there, students, or eyes are there. Okay, legs are there, eyes are there. Okay, so with the period of a time, the fetus will develop the different parts. And when all the body parts will get properly, when it get fully grow and developed, then we can say that the mother is ready to give birth to the baby. Okay. So we can write it. Once the fetus is completely developed, mother is ready to give birth. Okay, so once the fetus get properly developed, the growth of all the body parts occur, either it is eyes or nose or lips or that of the hand or leg, student, or head is there. So if all the body part will be properly developed, that time we will say that the mother is ready to give birth, and it will take a time. For a human being, it will takes up to 9 months so that the fetus will get fully developed. Now basically this happens in case of the fertilization. First of all, the fertilization occur, then the development of the embryo occur, and this development occurred in the uterus. It derived all the nutrition from the uterus and developed into a fully developed fetus. Okay, students? Now, this one we have talked in which there is no problem in that of the uterus or in that of the fallopian tube. So, in that case, this is very easy this is a process in which the fertilization and the development of embryo take place. In some cases, what happened? The mother's fallopian tube have blockage. Okay, so we can say that if there is a blockage in that of the fallopian tube of the mother, you know that a student, the sperms basically it enters into the fallopian tube. From that of the vagina, it will finally goes to the fallopian tube, and the reason is the egg or the ovum is present there. Okay, but in some cases what happened? This fallopian tube is having blockage. Okay, and if it is having a blockage, then the sperm is not able to travel there. It will be not able to go there to reach to its destination or to that of the fallopian tube. Okay, and if a blockage is there, so sperm will not going to enter into the fallopian tube, so no fusion can take place. So what can a person can do, because is not able to give birth? So in that case, students, there is a method by which the fusion can occur, but this time the fusion occurred outside to that of the body, and for that doctor used to take the freshly released egg or ovum from that of the female part and fuses it with that of the sperms. This fusion, it occurs in a proper temperature, and because of this fusion, zygote formation occurs. Now, here we used to keep the zygote in an incubator where we are providing the sufficient condition so that the sperm does not get destroyed or zygote does not get destroyed. Okay, so when the fusion occurs, formation of a zygote occurs, in the incubator, and this zygote starts developing, the cell starts dividing, and division, when the division occurs, student, at that time the doctors, they used to take that particular embryo, you can say, or the zygote, and insert it into the mother's womb, and you can say that this zygote again will get stick into the uterus wall, take all the nutrition from the mother's body, and finally grow and develop into fetus and ready to come out. Okay, and in this process also it will take about 9 months to grow and develop into a fully developed fetus. Okay, so there is no difference in that of the fallopian tube, which is a normal, than that of the fallopian tube which is having the blockage. Simply we are talking about that if blockage is there, so it will not go to and fuses with that of the egg. In such a case, we will take the freshly released egg and we fuses it outside. This process of the giving birth to the baby, that is known as a test tube method. Okay, or test tube baby. Louis Brown was the first test tube baby. Okay, so he developed by this method only. Okay, so we will write about the test tube baby. First of all, why there is a need of this test tube method, students? So, in some women, there is a blockage. Blockage in the fallopian tube. Okay, in the fallopian tube. Thus, fusion is not possible since the sperms did not reaches to the fallopian tube or to the egg or ovum, to the ovum. Okay, so because of the blockage, it does not reaches to that of the ovum, student, or to that of the egg. The second thing, students, that basically here doctors used to take freshly released egg or ovum and fuses it to the sperms. Okay, so doctors, they used to take the freshly released egg or ovum and fuses it to that of the sperms. Then there is a formation of a zygote occurred. This zygote is now cultured in an incubator. Okay. By the way, this method, this type of fertilization, of external fertilization is known as in vitro fertilization. Okay, it is known as the in vitro fertilization, where the external fertilization takes place, students. Okay. Now, once the fertilization occurs, zygote is made to develop for a 1 week, so that we can see that whether the cell division is taking properly or not. Okay, is made to develop for 1 week. It is made to develop for 1 week in an incubator. Then it is inserted to the uterus of the mother's body. Now it is inserted into the uterus of the mother's body. It grow and develop and process takes place in 9 months. Again, there is no difference in that of the in vitro fertilization student or a normal fertilization. In both the cases, the growth and the development will take place in that of the 9 month only. We are keeping the zygote outside only for the 1 week. Then everything it will take about 9 months, and then the fetus, now it is properly grown, the body parts is now recognizable, it is fully developed now, so it will come outside. So this method is test tube method. And the baby is known as a test tube baby. First test tube baby is Louis Brown. Louis Brown was a person who was the first test tube baby, and he born in 1978 in UK. So he was the first person whom we call as a test tube, who birthed through that of the test tube method or in vitro fertilization. Okay, so he was the first test tube baby. Now students, we have studied that what happened in case of a fertilization. Now the growth, or now the baby come outside, but still this infant is very, you can say that very small, just too small to look after it. So we have to care a lot. Okay, whether giving a proper milk by mother's milk, because you know that the mother's milk consisting of it help in increasing the resistivity in the body of the baby. Okay, and it will help in giving the sufficient nutrition to that of the baby. So it is mandatory, it is compulsory to give the mother's milk for 6 months. And not only this, students, to protect it from any kind of infection or that of the foreign antigens, better we should vaccinate the child time to time. Okay, so the next topic is the care after birth. Care after birth. So mother's milk, the first one is mother's milk. Very important to feed the child, to feed the newborn baby until it becomes 6 months old. Until it becomes 6 months old. So this is the first one, student, that we should always, the mother should feed the child with its milk until the child will become the 6 month old. And the reason that it provides the sufficient nutrition, mother's milk provide sufficient nutrition and resistance to the baby. So this is the very important point, students. Now, not only this, proper vaccination. Proper vaccination is also very important to protect it from various diseases. To protect it from diseases. So we should care the child by giving the mother's milk up to 6 months, as well as properly vaccinated. Vaccination should be given to the child so that it will protect it from that of the foreign antigens or various diseases. Okay.